Serve You podcast, where I'm constantly on the quest to surround myself with the best coaches while learning how to better serve our executive clientele by asking them, how may I serve you? Today's show is sponsored by Get Up and Get Fit. Get Up and Get Fit will be providing students with textbooks and school supplies in Cambodia in honor of our guest today, as well as our philanthropic mission to impact at least 50,000 people per year. And today's guest is Raul Didisheim. Raul, how are you?
I'm doing well, Thomas. Thanks for having me.
Of course, of course. So Raul Didisheim. So as a digital strategist, Raul Didisheim leverages years of top-tier agency expertise to provide digital solutions for businesses through his consultancy, Didisheim Consulting. Former roles include VP at Dotbox and leadership positions at Sapient Razorfish, Web Communications, MediaWorks. So Raul is a former television producer who began as an NBC page. Okay, so Raul, NBC page, huh? How was that?
You know, it was pretty good. It was it was my first, not my first TV job, my first like salaried TV job. Before
Okay.
that, I was a production assistant. But I got there, and yeah, it was really an exciting time. It was worked on Saturday Night Live, worked on David Letterman, who was there at the time.
Nice.
It was a great entrance into the business.
Yeah, so NBC page, it's a 12-month fellowship, right? Paid fellowship.
I think it's like 18,
Universals.
yeah, it might be 18 months. I can't remember exactly, but you're there, you're paid, and then you either get a job in the company or get a job elsewhere in television. You know, it's a great stepping stone.
Okay. So was this position what kind of give you the leverage and the motivation to go forward in the digital space?
No, that came later. I was there for a while, and I worked in television at ABC and HBO and a bunch of places. But then I got very interested. I was at ABC News Productions, and I got very interested in what was going on in the digital space, specifically streaming media.
Okay.
So I kind of left and went to a startup and became the VP there, not knowing anything about technology. And, you know, I just talked my way in there. And, but, you know, we had a good run there, and we were one of the first organizations that were streaming actually exercise and health videos on the web, which is now like completely, you know, all over YouTube, wherever. But at that time, it didn't really exist.
Okay. So are you talking about like the P90X days and like the, you know, the which other shows and other exercise shows? So like those kind of services, or
yeah, like you know, if you were a user there, you would like sort of put in what my exercise goals are.
Yeah.
We also had a menu, eat what your dietary goals were.
Understood.
And we would send you a customized videos of doing those exercises. Then we'd send you a meal plan and a grocery list. And but the difficulty then was that there were all these different ways of encoding you didn't just like throw it up on YouTube the way you do now. You had to encode it for there were still different file formats, different browsers. You just use different things. So we had to like make everything, and then like make 3 different versions of everything for different speeds and you know. So it was much more. The shooting was one part, but then like the getting it up there was much more difficult than it is now.
Yeah. So when you look at how things were then compared to how things are now, what are your thoughts on that? Like how much easier it is nowadays?
Technology's come a long way. I mean, you know, now you just talk on your phone and it's live. You know, back then you had to edit it, compress it, colorize it, make sure. Yeah, like there's so many steps that are now seamless. So I mean, everything across digital is much different now.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, Raul, I know you live in New York. So, are you a native New Yorker or are you a transplant?
I'm well. My parents are Swiss, so I'm a Swiss citizen. But I was
Okay.
raised in Connecticut, and then but I came to New York, for my working life. I went to school at Emerson in Boston, and some time in France. But I graduated from Emerson, and then in Boston, and then came right to New York City because that's where I want. I always wanted to be here, and yeah, at that time I just it was pre-internet, so I opened up, just started calling production companies out of the phone book.
The Yellow Book, right? Yellow
And
Pages.
that's how I got started.
Nice, nice. So let's talk a little bit about your childhood before we dive further into current day and time. So, who was Raul Didisheim as a child?
It was a pretty good childhood. I was, things were different in terms of, I was more in the country,
Mm-hmm.
and we were like we just sort of, in the morning, mom said, get out and play, go out and play, come back for dinner, and that was it. Nowadays you've got, kids have all the, they're so regimented. They've got, this class, that class, soccer, tennis, something. Like they're never as free as I think we had a lot more freedom
Yeah.
and time to just have imagination than we're happy with like sticks and stones and building a tree fort
Getting
and
dirty.
on our bicycles. And that's what that's what it was like. It was much different.
Yeah.
Of course, I traveled a lot because my family was in Switzerland, so I spent all my time off. When I wasn't in school, I was there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, it was pretty classic kind of childhood from that time.
Do you have any siblings?
I have a sister, yeah, and a brother.
A sister and a brother. So, are you the middle child, the eldest? Like,
I'm the
where?
youngest. Youngest.
Oh, so you're the youngest. Okay, okay.
My brother's in Switzerland. My sister's in St. Louis.
St. Louis. Okay, okay. So, are you guys close? You guys come together to
Yeah,
hang out
yeah.
with?
I mean, yeah. My, I go to Switzerland more, and then my sister. We kind of go back and forth. Sometimes she comes here. Sometimes I go there.
Okay, okay. All right. So let's come into today's day and time, right? Because I know you worked for a couple of different companies. You were former VP at Dotbox. You also had a leadership position at the Sapien Razorfish. You worked in web communication, media works. So you have a pretty extensive resume. So talk to me about how your experience in those companies allow you to create your current company right now. Didisheim Consultancy.
Yep, yep. So yes, I worked at agencies. I think, as I said, I transitioned to from television, and after that, this EFIT we talked about, I got into the agency world
Mm-hmm.
and worked as project manager, account manager, then different roles, and those each of those agencies sort of had a different methodology and a different client base. So I just learned about a lot of technology, and also just process and how to work with clients and
Mm-hmm.
communications and all that. And then we sold the last company, Dropbox, which was sold to MDC Partners at the time. I had sort of reached a point where I didn't want to work in agency anymore. It's kind of,
Okay.
it's great for a while. It's like, or some people love it forever. I just, I'm tired of like this culture. I want more freedom,
Yeah.
but I love serving clients and I like helping people grow their business or whatever. I work online, of course, so whatever they're doing online, I like helping them. So I decided that I still wanted to do that, but on my own, so I have more personal time, more free time, and more control of my time because you have no control of your time when you're at an agency.
Yeah, it's go, 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 go.
Yeah, if it's a weekend and the client wants something, you got to jump. So now I have more. I can pick and choose the people I like to work with, and
Yeah,
I control my lifestyle more.
got it. So, Raul, how big is your company? Is it a solo man
So
company?
I've got well, no, I have a couple of developers, and
Okay.
then I have a couple of work, and then I have a number of people who work with me. I mean, they're not W-2, but they're working for me all, pretty much all the time.
So the contractors?
Yeah,
Okay.
because
Okay.
the way I like to work is, when I have a client, I really like. It's not like a cookie cutter thing. I really work with a client, and then I build a team around that client's needs.
Mm,
So,
okay.
their industry, their vertical, some if it's a fashion company, they want a certain look and feel and design. If it's a medical company, that that's a different design, a different tone, a different language.
Hmm.
So I have people that I work with that are specific to the goals of the client, because that's what I'm trying to serve.
And that's great right there, man. It's all about customization, right? It's about really being very um, detailed when it comes to work with your client. And I'm glad you have that approach because I have a similar approach with my company. I run a wellness concierge company. It's the same approach. When a client comes on board, after the assessment, we build a team around the client. So
Right.
and I get it, man. I get it. So, how long has Didisheim consultancy been active?
Well, we probably like I think 9 years. I think about 9 years now.
Okay, okay, so way before COVID. Okay.
Yeah, I've been doing it for a while. I mean, after we sold the other dog box, well, for about a year I thought I wanted to work for a brand, and
Mm,
so I
okay.
kind of spent time doing that and realized I didn't for various reasons. And then I said, you know what, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to do this consultancy, and that's what I've been doing the last nine
So,
years.
but it seems like you're more than a consultancy because you consult, but then you also have contractors that get the work done, right? That develop.
Yeah, it's like a boutique consultancy. I mean, so we have, I'm not, I'm a hiring, I work with the client, I
Hmm.
strategize with the client, find out their needs, but then I hire people to do the projects. I'm not doing the coding, I'm not doing the writing,
Yeah.
I'm not doing the designing. I hire the people, and I just sort of, depending on sometimes I'm very involved during the process.
Hmm.
Sometimes I'm less involved because the client might have a point person, and I put them with my project manager or and they're communicating, and I'm just overseeing it, and coming in otherwise I couldn't do more than one
Yeah.
work with one client at a time. So I'm more high level, making sure everything's okay. But then once the engagement is going, I'm working with new clients or new business.
Understood. So, what's a client avatar? Do you have a specific niche that you enjoy working with, or are you industry agnostic?
Now I'm industry agnostic. I mean, initially I was in the more of the luxury uh, jewelry space specifically, which I do like, and I like the
Yeah.
luxury space. But then what happened over the pandemic? I just started getting a lot of requests from people who suddenly realized they need an online presence, because a
Hmm.
lot of businesses, they didn't pay attention before. It didn't, and suddenly everyone's online. They're at home and they're
Yeah.
online, and people had like bad websites, bad digital marketing. They weren't converting on their websites. So I am now pretty much agnostic. I mean, I'm working with in medical, in shoes, fashion, what else? Even metal recycling
Really?
companies,
That's different.
weird. And yeah, I mean, it's really because I have this years of experience and a lot of people I've worked with over time. I can usually put together the right team for this kind of, the client. So
Got you.
luxury is my interest, but it's not my forte necessarily. It's really about getting the job done. I mean, my sort of whole experience comes from being a TV producer, where as a TV producer, you put together the team and you have to get it done no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in with the web, it's, so you sort of have the luxury of being able to change stuff all the time. And in television, you didn't have that. You went to a location, you had X hours to shoot it, boom, get it on the air, and that was it. It was locked. So it's different with digital.
Yeah, so then now you have a lot more flexibility.
Yeah, you can work things out with the client. Things can change. The client's allowed to change his mind. You can do, so.
So Raul, what would you say your superpower is in terms of what you're great at? What is just something that just comes second nature to you?
I think reading people pretty well, understanding what they want, but also communicating with the people who are working with me and for me.
That's good.
I'm able to. I know how a marketer thinks and talks. I know how a programmer thinks and talks. I know how, they have different ways of communicating. The same with clients. Certain clients, you got to figure out right away, is this the kind of person that wants to just let you do it and you show it to him when it's done, or does he want you to check in with him every day? Does he want how does he work? How does he think? So getting a hold of that and building a rapport with clients and teams is what's because people want to trust you, right? More than if they like and trust you. That's the key. I mean, I'd almost say that if people like and trust you, they may choose you over someone who might be better at a skill, but they don't have their.
It's all about rapport. It's all about rapport. You are exactly right, man. And you know what? That skill set that you possess, a lot of people are really struggling, right? I find a lot of folks in leadership struggle in that department, right? They don't know how to read a team, and sometimes that disconnect ends up, affecting the bottom line, or they have to hire a certain individual to bridge the gap. But be able to possess such a skill, that's very, I'm pretty sure it's rewarding too, and helps you get the job done.
Yeah, I think there's, I think in the United States, there's such, when you grow up, you're not taught, communication skills are not really taught that much, and in a lot of families, you don't have a good relation with your family. I think that affects the way you are as a person. You go to university, it's not necessarily true that you're going to learn those skills. You're going to learn tactical stuff.
Exactly.
You're going to memorize stuff, but you don't learn how to be human or to sort of feel and understand.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like the human skills which you're supposed to learn, during your nurturing stage, is not taught in the university. So it's like sink or swim.
Yeah.
So I definitely agree with you in that regard. So as a business owner, like what does your typical day look like? Walk me through your typical day. Talk to me.
Well, it's pretty crazy, except in the morning, I'm really I have a morning ritual that I gotta do.
I love rituals.
That's not too woo-woo. It's just I get up, I gotta get up, have a coffee, spend 45 minutes doing emails and responding. Then I work out. Gotta work out. So, say I get up usually 7, 9 o'clock, I work out. If I don't work out, I working out for me is not that, and I'm not even saying I like to work out. Like I'm not a guy who likes to work out, but I know what happens if I don't work out, which is
Yeah.
like, I'm depressed, anxious, and frazzled. So
Mm.
I do that, and that's a ritual. So, and then at 11 o'clock, you know, and then anything can happen. You know, then it's like just could be chaos that day. You know, there's no like, you know, yeah, of course a calendar schedule, but you know, something can happen. It's not like all planned. And then, but at the end of the day, I definitely close down and get off the computer because you know you can go all night. You know, I kind of set a time like I'm done.
You have a hard stop.
Yeah, and I mean it might be later than you know if I'm on a particular project, of course, but otherwise I close down 6 or 7 and yeah, then you know whatever if I go out to dinner or meet friends, whatever.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
then,
All right.
and before I go to bed, I write down my wins for the day.
Ooh, yes. You do a recap.
Like anything, like you know,
Mhm.
stupid stuff, like worked out, finished the proposal, cooked dinner for my wife, whatever, you know, like stuff like just anything, you know, and I just think about, and then I also, of course, just like look at the calendar, what's going to happen tomorrow, and I have like 3 things I got to do tomorrow.
Wow, that's good right there.
So
You know
that's
what?
good.
I'm sorry. Now, just the mere fact that you document your wins, you know, is kudos to you because a lot of folks forget to document or even celebrate the wins. You know, because
Right.
everything matters. Everything matters. You know, the small wins, like you just mentioned, cooking for your wife, right? Finishing a project. Just by acknowledging those things that you've accomplished, it it really not only does it boost your morale, but it gives you a boost to continue in that direction. You know, so
Yeah, because people don't think about those little things, and you know, I think I
mhm.
didn't do that, I didn't do this, but you did do something. You know, it's not like just the big things. You know, it's the smaller because you live day by day. You're not living. You know, every day is now. You know, right? So
exactly, and I find that those uh those small actionable steps can prevent a person from becoming depressed, right?
no, actually,
Um,
that's exactly why I do it. I mean, I'm that's why. Yeah, it's you know that's why I work out. That's why
mhm.
I you know it's good for anxiety. It's good for depression. It's good for you know overall mental health. I mean, physical health is like only a small part of it.
Exactly. So you get it. So what are you doing right now? This is what I pretty much try to tell our clients and just people I come across. You have to, especially if you are a business owner, if you are an entrepreneur, you have to invest in yourself. It's so necessary because of all the stress and all the the just the burden that comes with being a business owner, right? You need sometimes you need an outlet. You need to invest in yourself, and you're doing it right now. You get up in the morning, you work out, and you document wins. Just those 2 things changes one's trajectory, and you're living it. You're doing it right now. So kudos to you, man.
Yeah, otherwise you crash and burn. You, know?
Exactly. Exactly.
You can do it for a certain amount of time, and I have, but there's a moment where you just yeah, and working longer doesn't mean working better. I mean,
Hmm.
after a certain amount of time, it's diminutive. I mean, you're not producing good work, and it's taking you a lot longer. It's better just to stop.
No, I learned that the hard way in college.
College is different. College is a different world.
I know, yeah, definitely. But yeah, man. So with everything we just talked about, what is one thing you believe you need to improve upon or improve on?
I still have. Well, I don't know. I mean, I had dyslexia, or I do have
Okay.
dyslexia, or I had bad dyslexia. So, you know, for me, sometimes focusing is extra effort. So I'm always trying to, pay attention to detail more. Sometimes I make silly mistakes. I got to focus on that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always, I need to. It's hard to keep up with everything. So I guess I want to improve the way I access information in a more organized manner. So I'm not like, it's just there's so much going on in media management, and I guess it's a way to figure out a way to just access what's important and filter out what's not important.
Yeah.
And it's more and more difficult with every, there's just, what we're surrounded with and what's going on, and just like filtering out the noise and just focus on what's important.
Yes, indeed. So with that, do you believe that AI could help you out with that, and like the current technology that we're being
Well, it
exposed
helps
to more?
me. I'm using it a lot,
Okay.
but I use it to help me think things
Okay.
through. For example, right now I'm doing a proposal, so I write my draft, and then I don't use it to do it for a thing. I use it as a helper.
Yeah.
So I'll write something. I say, "Can you express this in a more succinct and convincing way?" But
Okay.
I'm not asking them to write that, because it comes out garbage. You've got to like write it, have them edit it. So I use it as like a proofreader, and editor.
Yeah, like of a structuring source.
And also idea generation.
Okay.
It's can you give me some ideas for this or that? But people who are just sort of using it to write, that's a mistake, and you can see it right away. Like you can see somebody that's even on a social media post that's used it. You can say they're like, and there's certain vocabulary words that they use that AI uses, all of them. Whether it's Claude or OpenAI or any of them, it's like important, crucial, essential. In this digital landscape, like there's all this phraseology that
nobody uses digital landscape in a sentence.
So people should be careful with that. But yeah, it helps me, and I don't do much image. I play with it for images, but I don't really do it serial. It's really for ideation.
Okay.
An assistant.
So Raul, with me at this point of time in your life, right? Especially since you came from just different areas, and you've learned a lot of different experience from all your all the previous works you've done. What currently drives you?
Really, I just well, in terms of work, I just love I love media. I've always worked, from television and the digital. In television, I was a writer, producer, sometimes director. Here, I'm, in digital, I've been project manager, account manager, business owner, general manager, and I just love media. I just like, if I wasn't in this business, I'd be like a hobbyist of technology. I just love. It's like a hobby. That's what drives me in business. Personally, my family. I'm very my wife, my kids, and just appreciating life now. Everyone's going through something all the time. It's not like everything you see, especially in media, it's mostly just posturing. It's not really. Everyone's got problems. Everyone's got stuff going on, and I think you have to know that and be empathetic to it, and you got to do the best you can. Everyone's screwing up all the time. Everyone's winging it. Just do your best and accept yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone's living the human experience.
Yeah.
So what are you currently working on at the moment in regards to work? Are you working on any new projects? That's exciting. Like, talk to us about that. Any new
Yeah,
programs you have
I'm
built?
working. I'm actually. I can't say who it's for, but we're develop. It's an existing client in the medical field, and we're developing an AI app actually,
Nice.
a chat box so that patients can ask questions and get responses, and they can also get dietary information and recipes and things like that all through the app, and they can talk and have exchange with it. So I'm using AI there. So that's kind of exciting because yeah, I think it's going to be really useful for these patients. Otherwise, I'm working on finishing up a website for a sheet metal wholesaler. Don't ask me about that business. I didn't know anything
Yeah.
about it. I didn't even know it existed before I started working with them, but we're going to
Yeah.
finish up this week.
Okay.
And well, I'm writing a pitch right now that it's for real estate. We'll see what happens. Real estate. We have also a new, actually, an app, a module for showing. It's like an interactive platform that realtors can use to show their apartments. That's kind of innovative.
Okay. It sounds like working on a few cool things. Okay.
Yeah.
So Raul, if someone were to inquire about your services or just want to connect with you, where can they find you?
They can, well, on LinkedIn is probably where I am most often. So it's my name.
Can you spell your name for those folks who are listening?
Okay, it's RAOUL DIDISHEIM. So there are not many. If you type it in, that's who you get. There aren't many Raoul Didisheims on LinkedIn. And then, of course, my website, Didisheim.com, which is DIDISHEIM.com.
Awesome. Raul, listen, it's been a pleasure having this conversation with you today, man. And
Nice
I have one last question before we leave, right? And that question is, how may I serve you?
Oh, well, thank you. If you know anyone that has struggling with their online presence, their online brand, needs to get more conversions, customers, I can help them do that.
Okay, all right. So I'm definitely gonna put you in my Rolodex as that go-to guy because I know quite a few people that need your help.
I happen to have a real live Rolodex right here.
Oh wow! Nice. Okay.
Some people don't know what that is.
Exactly right. Yeah, but yeah. So Raul, like I said, once again, it's been a pleasure. For all of those who are listening and viewing, thank you for lending us your ears and your eyeballs. And once again, this is your host, Thomas Johnson. Make sure to tune in to next week for our next episode. Be blessed. Reach out to Rahul Didisheim. He's your guy. And you can always reach out to me. Stay out. Later. Cheers.
All right. Thanks so much.
Hi, my name is Thomas Johnson, and I'm the founder